Hey everyone, I hope you're having a fantastic Friday. I wanted to jump on and talk to you about what happens in a first lesson online or face-to-face. So basically, a lot of parents ask me this question: what happens on the first lesson? What do you do? Do you assess them? Do they need to have a test? Now, the reason why a lot of students come to myself and Emily is because their children or students lack confidence in their own abilities and their learning. So me then sitting down in a first lesson and giving them a test is probably going to sort of just affect their confidence even more. Right. So what I tend to do is I have a couple of games that I call low threshold, high ceiling games. Now, these games are basically designed to show me, number one, how your children deal with mathematical reasoning, so how they think, how they process, how they deal with challenges, because my main goal and Emily's main goal is to make your child confident with their own abilities and their own learning. So we want to see what the idea of failure is about, but in a safe environment. So we use mathematical games or English type games in order to sort of see where they are. So if it's English, I'd like to do something creative to see how creative they are independently. So those are the sorts of things that we do. Now, they don't take very long, but it all depends on where we start. So for example, I may play a maths game with your child at the start of the session, and within that game, I will be using the 4 operations. So the 4 operations, and I always say this to the children, what are the 4 operations? And they tend to say to me, what are you talking about? Is you add, subtract, divide and multiply, and during that game I get to see how they use them, whether they use them well, but also at the same time I then sort of direct them at the same time. During that, I am able to make notes, or I will stick it all in my lovely brain and be able to think, where do they need to go? Another question that parents tend to ask me is, are they at the right level? Now, when you ask me that question, you're asking me a question of, are they at the right level in accordance to the national curriculum? I will be able to give you that answer, and sometimes it's the answer that parents don't want to hear. They may hear me say, well, actually at the moment they're working below. Now, working below is such a negative I hate using the word below. I hate it. So what I try to say is that what we need to do is build their confidence up. So if that means that I need to strip the child's knowledge all the way back to maybe when they first learnt a concept of, say, like fractions or multiplications, we're going to take them all the way back to something that maybe they should have learnt right at the very beginning, or something that's just not stuck. So they've been in school and they've rushed through some topics and then it's just not stuck in their head. So long story short, guys, in a first session, we make it as fun as we possibly can by using games and new concepts in order to identify the areas in which your child needs help. Now, these areas are going to change throughout the course that your child is with us or within a group, and it also changes, especially when they're in a group setting, it will change quite dramatically because they've got influences of other children and they get ideas. And the great thing about our group sessions is that within groups, the children can feed off each other, and also children are great at explaining to other children how to do something. So when they understand it, they can then share that with other children. So in a first lesson with us, do not expect us to sit and do tests with your children. That is not what we do. We will obviously have little bits and pieces where we may need to give them a quiz, which kind of shows us where they might need to be or something that we need to practice on, but it's always in a nice and fun way. Guys, I hope you have a fantastic weekend and I will speak to you soon. Bye.